NASA will use sounding rockets to study the mysterious speed bump above the North Pole. Now, there's always something coming up. NASA scientists are on track to study a very mysterious, perplexing region of the atmosphere above the North Pole that acts like a type of a speed bump for any spacecraft that passes through this area. This is the first time I've heard of it. The planet's atmosphere is a lot less uniform than most would assume, and that can spell trouble for spacecraft operators. One region of the atmosphere that has proven to be nauseous for satellites is the so-called polar cusp above the North and South Pole, some 250 miles above North Pole. Every day at noon local time, when the sun is at its highest point, a funnel-shaped gap opens up in the Earth's magnetic field. Every day at noon. For the most part, the field protects our planet from the charged particles streaming towards us from the sun. But according to NASA, this funnel-shaped gap allows solar winds from the sun to interact directly with our planet's atmosphere, and that can have some bizarre effects on radio and GPS signals in the region. What's even more bizarre, scientists have observed that spacecraft passing through the polar cusp above the slowdown appeared to slow down, and they are now trying to figure out why. So at that time, when spacecraft pass through this area, they appear to slow down. And there has maybe something to do with space-time. Now, towards this goal, NASA will launch the Cusp Region Experiment 2, or CREX-2 mission. It will involve firing a sounding rocket into the sky from Norway. Mark Conder, CREX-2 principal investigator and physicist at University of Alaska Fairbanks, said, at around 250 miles above our Earth, spacecraft feel more drag, sort of like they've hit a speed bump. Spacecraft passing through the polar cusp slow down because the air there is considerably denser than at any other point in the Earth orbit. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. But scientists have so far been unable to figure out why or how this happens. The CREX-2 mission was originally penciled to blast off in 2019, but it remained grounded until now. The space weather conditions at the time were not right, and the COVID pandemic threw another spanner in the works. But the sun is more active now, and with COVID restrictions loosening around the world, NASA scientists are hopeful the mission will launch December 1st from Andenes, Norway. The atmosphere density drops with altitude, but remains fairly consistent horizontally. This is not the case in the polar cusp, where the air is about 1.5 times denser than the surrounding air in the same altitude. The CREX-2 mission will investigate what process is supporting this additional mass. The scientists will investigate a number of potential scenarios and try to sort out which one is doing the work. Professor Condi said, "You just can't increase the mass in a region by a factor of 1.5 and do nothing else, or the sky will fall." Now, one theory proposes that electric and magnetic effects in the ionosphere 30 to 600 miles up support the denser air. The canisters of these sounding rockets will release vapor tracers that will produce colorful, glowing clouds in a 3-dimensional grid in the sky. The scientists will then monitor how air moves through these clouds to better understand what is going on up there. Professor Conde said, "We're threading a needle. We get about an hour to 2 each day when conditions are suitable to do the experiment," he said. So we'll see what they'll find. This is by Sebastian Ketley in Express UK. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support.